Okay, let me just touch on this UK immigration thing real quick. I'm not going to go super long because I'm already at an hour. But no more Mr. Nice Guy. The UK has had enough of immigration. There are some very big counter-protests going on today. First, I'm going to read from the leftist media because, you know, they're always accurate with everything. And their framing is perfect. Their framing is, oh, the people that are marching in this are all the isms and the phobes. They just hate brown people. And, of course, that's what the medias take. But then when you actually listen to the people on the ground, they're like, look, we can't get health care anymore. We can't afford anything. There's no housing. Like, everything has gone to crap, and it has nothing to do with anything with people's skin color. And many people are even saying it's not the religion difference. I tend to disagree. It is. They just don't want to say it because they live in the UK and they can actually be thrown in jail for saying it. I'll say it for you. Of course it's the religion. Look, I wouldn't expect, I would say if a bunch of Christians wanted to go into, I don't know, Egypt or Syria or whatever and change the laws and take over and all of a sudden make it a Christian nation, well, the UK did that. They did it a whole lot. And now a lot of people are very mad at them for doing it. But, you know, I wouldn't say that's right. So when you have a bunch of foreigners coming in and literally, I saw a video today. I'll probably have to clip this out of YouTube from the YouTube segment. I saw a woman today, a Muslim woman, yelling at a British person that was getting on a bus. And guys, I kid you not, she hiked up her long dress that was down to her ankles. She stuck her hand between her legs, crapped in her own hand. I'm not lying. I am not lying. And then pulled it out and threw it at the woman. And I'm like, you know, when your society is getting to the point where newcomers are in their own hands and throwing it at you, maybe you really need to think a little bit more about your immigration policy. I could find the video for you because I did see it, but I'm not going to do that to you because just the imagining it is bad enough. So from the Independent, around 1,000 police deployed amid Tommy Robinson protest and countermarch. Around 1,000 officers are to be deployed to the streets of central London to try to keep the peace in a busy weekend of protests, including a march led by right-wing activist Tommy Robinson, the Metropolitan Police have said. His protest, set to move from the Royal Courts of Justice to a rally in Trafalgar Square on Saturday, has triggered a counter-demonstration by former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn's Peace and Justice Project and Stand Up to Racism. See, just when you label something like that, just when you, Alucard says, Joker, please link it on Locals. Do you really, really desperately want to see a 60-year-old lady crapping in her hand and throwing it at people? I mean, really? I'll share the link over on Locals if you want to. Just saying. So you see how they're framing this already, though. The Justice Project and the Stand Up to Racism. But it's not racism. That's not what the people are complaining about. Nowhere do you hear people say, oh, those darn brown people. They're saying Muslims are not fitting in with our culture. This culture is not fitting in with our culture. We do not have enough health care available. We don't have enough housing. The cost of all these people coming in here being on our tax dime is bankrupting the country. Please stop. And the leaders over in the UK, just like here, are saying, no, this will raise GDP. These people are going to be producing a lot. They're going to be producing a lot of income for us. So far, half of them are on the company. The country, half of them are on the country dime. Just they're living in the lap of luxury, and they're not putting into the system. They're just taking out. They say it is supported by the Trade Union Congress and 11 trade unions, as well as groups such as Stop the War Coalition, Peace and Justice Project, and the Unite Against Fascism. Hey guys, why would the Trade Union Congress and 11 trade unions be on board with immigrants? Cheap labor, that's why. Cheap labor. If only they worked. I mean, literally, like, if only they did work, but they don't. The police have already used powers under the Public Order Act to try and keep opposing groups kept apart amid fears that serious disruption could be caused. Chief Superintendent Colin Wingrove, who's in charge of this weekend's operation, warned that police will intervene decisively to deal with protesters who break the strict conditions about when and where they're allowed to demonstrate. But as they've proven recently, they only will arrest the people, the native British citizens complaining about the thing, and not anybody actually, that does have brown skins that is throwing rocks and burning buses. They say Mr. Wingrove said a significant number of officers would be on duty as part of a carefully planned operation in effort to keep people safe and prevent crime. He said our first priority is to keep the peace to ensure those exercising their right to lawful protest can do so safely. We have proactively used our powers under the Public Order Act to manage the timings and routes of marches and assemblies, ensuring the groups are kept apart. Officers will intervene decisively to deal with any breaches of those conditions, prevent crime, and to respond to any other incidents. Everyone has a right to feel safe and to be safe in London. We know how that's going to go. And now you notice it's just British. It's got the Union Jack and a couple of other flags in there. These are just Brits that want to be British. These are Brits that want to be left alone. And again, I've got some video, and it's an older woman, and her husband are said, look, our daughter has cancer. We can't even get health care for her in a timely manner. Well, I have breaking video from the horrible events. Guys, you will not believe how bad this is. Wait till you see these people carrying these Union Jacks, tearing everything down and destroying their own country. It is sickening. Look at these. Now, there's a lot of people there. Like from one end of this camera all the way to the other. It looks, this is well north of 10,000 people, if I had to take a guess. North of 10,000 people. Look at these people lighting everything on fire, burning down, breaking the windows, smashing businesses, looting them, tearing their own country apart. This is appalling. Or it could be just a bunch of people, even some kids in strollers, standing there with Union Jacks and some flags of their countries, just chanting. I know I'm going to have to mark this. I don't think I can show this video on YouTube. It's way too harmful. This is a drone footage, so it doesn't have any audio. Look at the number of people that showed up to this. This is crazy. They've got big screens going. I think that's is that Carl Benjamin maybe? I don't know. There's no audio to it, so I can't. I could tell if it's Carl Benjamin if I could hear his voice. Look how many people are there, though. That is a square full of people. And you know something? I don't see any trash on the ground. I don't see anything being lit up. No one's breaking in any buildings. No one's burning anything. But remember, guys, these are the evil, terrible fascists that are tearing it all down. We need to stop this. This is unacceptable, everybody. This is from Alexandria Lavoie. She says, the other one was from Ollie London. She says, a massive crowd has shown up for the T. Robinson New Era event. There's great energy, and the speakers are ready to take the stage. And again, another drone shot of people just politely and calmly holding their flags, walking down the street, nothing being destroyed. Yes, correct, no poop flinging, nothing being destroyed, nothing being torn down, no glasses being broken. Just people marching along. And again, I don't have audio for this particular clip because it's from a drone, so all you do is just hear the buzzings. Alucarda says, look, Joker, I want to laugh my head off too. Okay, I'll let you laugh your head off. I'll see if I can find it for you. They have what looks to be a band marching. Now that this has music on it, so I can't play it, but you can see there's. I'll just pull it up for a second so I don't get zinged when I upload this over to YouTube.
Thousands as far as you can see, yeah? We haven't got...
That's Tommy Robinson. He says we've got thousands as far as you can see, and there's no screaming, guys. Like, it's very quiet. You can hear the music in the background, but you don't hear a bunch of people screaming and yelling and no profanities and get those people out of here. They're just people sharing their love. See, and this is one of the reasons why the government and the lamestream media needs to lie. This is why lamestream media needs to lie, because if you see the truth of it, you go, there's nothing wrong with this. Like, these people are actually having fun. They're not angry. They're not tearing anything down. They're not burning. And this is what the good does. And maybe here's a little, I got some more videos for you, but this, I'm feeling the glow of the love. Let me share something with you. When it becomes good versus evil, sometimes the good can win by being really good. And I know that doesn't make much sense, but if you think about it, when these people show love and they're happy together and they're singing songs and they're holding hands, and then you look over to the other side, the opposition, they're barking in the faces of priests. Literally, that's a thing that leftists were doing. They're barking in the faces of priests. They're burning, they're smashing, they're tearing it down. It's because they aren't loved. They don't feel love, and they hate everything. And maybe those people come around someday, but maybe they don't. But the next generation of young people coming up, the other people that are unsure or don't know what they're going to do, or which way am I going to vote, or what am I going to be a part of, which future do I want for myself and my family? They see the good people having fun and loving and cheering and having a great time, and then they see the other side. And they're angry, and they're fighting, and they're throwing bricks, and they're getting bloody lips, and it doesn't go well. You don't have to get into the dirt with the pigs to win the war against them. I think this is a great idea. It makes the newspapers, yes, people that aren't physically or literally there, you could read a newspaper and say, oh, I heard they were doing all these horrible things. But when you have this many people there, there's going to be somebody saying, I was there, everything was fine. Look, here's a video I took. We're singing Sweet Caroline, we're having fun. And then it passes almost like a rash, actually. But it passes like a good smelling apple pie. It spreads like apple pie. And then that person says, oh, it does look like you guys had fun. And then somebody else, oh, I heard it was awful. No, I saw a video of it. They were singing and having a great time, and they passed that on to another person. So if 100,000 people are there, 200,000 will have secondhand accounts. 500,000 will have second or third hand accounts. And you can break through the media lies and everything else. That's why here in the United States, when somebody says, well, I heard on CNN, I heard on MSNBC, I heard on ABC, I heard on Fox News, I heard anybody that quotes mainstream news as a source is like, nah, I don't think so. It took a lot of years to get from Trump screaming fake news. It took 4, 6, 7 years for Trump saying fake news to me saying, it's definitely fake news, to all of you saying it's fake news. You know, when Trump was first elected in 2016, and I told this story just the other day, so I'm not going to go too down far down the rabbit hole. But when Trump was elected in 2016, I'm like, him and his fake news, man. And then in like 2 or 3 years, after seeing all the ways they lied about him and the editing of news stories and video clips and taking them out of context, I went, wow, the news will just lie to us. And then what pushed, I think, a vast 40, 50% of the country over the lip was the stuff about the jab and the stuff about, oh, all you need to wear this and stay this many feet apart and you need to do all these things. And you're like, yeah, but Like, I never got the jab, and it's what, 3 years later, and I've never even been sick. I haven't even had the flu. Like, I'm fine. Haven't ever. Now I'm not near other people, but I still went grocery shopping. I still lived a normal life, even if I don't work in the public. I never got the jab. Never been sick. And then you see these people going, "Thank God I got my eighth boost, or because I do have it now, and I'm sick. I don't feel well at all." But boy, imagine how bad I'd feel if I didn't get those 8 other boosters. It's like, dude, there are people that are always going to be those people. And then there's going to be the rest of us that are like, you can't fool me anymore. You either know your history or you trust the government. Which is it? I know my history. So as you can see, nothing but love here. Here's Carl Benjamin. He took a video as well. This probably has the singing in it as well. So I will... the reason why I play it through is I don't want to edit too much out, but YouTube's really weird and picky. So I'll play some of it for you guys, but then I drop it out and I use that as a clip in my YouTube stuff.
Educated in military doctrine, but at some point our shelf life expired.
Carl says an absolutely colossal turnout for the United Kingdom rally. The crowd goes around the stage. It's impossible to see in one view. Lewis Brackpool says now, sea of flags fly high in central London. British, English, Welsh, Scottish, Irish flags. And yeah, that is a whole lot of flags. That is a whole lot of people. What I find interesting about this, just listening to this crowd, there's no yelling, there's no screaming. These are, and a very large portion of this is just men. And they're talking about the issues of the day. They're talking about, they're sharing information. They're speaking out against the government. They're speaking out against the news agencies. We all know these aren't fascists. They're not supreme anything. They don't, they're not there to support each other's skin color. These are Brits that genuinely care about the well-being of their country. They genuinely do not want to lose Britain and the history of their country. And they are at risk. Just from the reporting from the police and from the media, you can hear the police and the media's statements are, you're looking at the bad guys here. And these are the nice people until they're not nice. I think it was Jordan Peterson said that all men should be violent, but they should know when to use it and how to use it. But to be a man, you need to have that in you. And I look at this group of people, and they're all nice, wearing their polos and their T-shirts. One guy over here in a bowler hat. They've got their flags. They're quietly talking to themselves. But I have a feeling if it really gets down to the Brits losing their country, I can also see every single one of these guys pushing through the government doors and taking things over. Not the lefties at home crying about this, not the lefties at home calling these people, fascists or whatever. These are the nice guys. These are the quiet men. These are the men that have families and good jobs and love of country. And these are the men that when you push them over the lip and you push them over the edge, with a sigh, they're going to shake their head and say, I can't believe it's come to this. They're going to walk over. They're going to pick up a fence post. They're going to shave that thing into some weapon or something or other that's going to do them some good. And they and their mates are going to down a pint and then start marching on the Capitol. That's really what, because I know guys like this. And they just say, look, we just want things the way they are. Stop pushing. Stop pushing us. And they're going to get pushed, and they're going to get pushed, And then they're going to get pushed, and then one day, like a light switch, it's going to pop off. It's not going to be good for any government. The people have been playing nice, but I don't think they're going to play nice for much longer. This is from Urban Scoop, and this is a funny. Oh, let me read the headline here. This is from Urban Scoop. It says, far-right white. Sammy asks perfectly normal British working-class people why they're at the event today. Yet the media will always run with the far-right racist and hooligans and fascists when describing them. Make it make sense. I'm going to play this video of this very nice couple, and I think you're going to hear some opinions that many, many other people agree with.
We're bringing the flags to show
solidarity
our
with our country.
Our solidarity. Yeah, we want the country back.
Okay.
Basically, love.
So, where do you come from?
Blackpool, Lancashire. Yeah.
Okay. So, have you been to one of these events before?
Paul has, I haven't. I'm his wife.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
first time for you then?
First time for me, yeah.
So, what is it exactly that's been bothering you about what's been happening in the country?
Well, I think the same as it's been bothered everyone, we need to stop the illegal immigrants. And that isn't racist. What it is basically is, you try and get a doctor's appointment or see a consultant, you will have to wait, in Blackpool especially, weeks and weeks and weeks just to see a consultant before you're diagnosed. My daughter is dying with stage... I'm being attacked by a Ukraine flag. My daughter is dying with stage 4 cancer.
I'm sorry.
She's very optimistic, as we are, because we have to be, and she's a fighter. We're fighting for my daughter, and more than anything, Paul does Father Christmas every year.
I won't go down into her full life story, but, she said her husband does Father Christmas, and, she wants to keep Christmas important, which is religion. She says it's not about race, it's not about religion. But she does say, he's Father Christmas. We want to keep that tradition alive, which is Santa Claus and Christianity and England and, all the traditions they've ever had. And she says her daughter's fighting stage 4 cancer, and they can't get an appointment. They can't get any assistance from even general practitioners, their local GP, because they're booked weeks and weeks and weeks out. So what happens when you're fighting cancer and time is of critical and small changes and what if it takes you 2, 3, 4 weeks just to get an x-ray? Things can change so quickly. That's the concerning part for a lot of people, but it also boils down to the price of housing, because now there's extra million a year in the UK and an extra God knows how many million here that are taking up, housing spots, but they're not producing, they're not working, they're not putting into the system, they're only taking out. This is an acceleration to the decline of all these countries. And at this point, you have to think it's on purpose. You have to. There's no other way to think about that. You have to believe that this is being done on purpose to destroy things. There's no other way you can look at it and see 50% of people coming in this country are on the government dole. Their crime has gone up, and they're being released over and over again. They're not of the same religion, and so you're seeing fights breaking out and other issues. They're being arrested and just let out of prison without even bail. At a certain point, you have to say, this is on purpose. This is done to make a large part of the country fight and angry and fight and push back. And then the media, in coordination with the left-wing government, will say, see, everybody, there you go. They're all evil. This is all their fault. They started it. And they're going to keep pushing people until there's a snapback. And then they go, there's our justification, everybody. See, we told you they're evil. They did the same thing with a Canadian trucker convoy. All these trucks pulled up into Ottawa. They parked. They got out. They had cook-offs. They had air castles that the kids were playing in. They were playing music. They were just hanging out and talking. And what was Trudeau's talking point? These men are racist. They're white nationalists. They're Nazis. The way the way that you win this, and this is what's so crazy. This is why I think things are going to get really bad before they get better. The way you win this is with kindness and with earning the trust of people that currently believe the government. And the only way that they will get out of their hive mind and get out of the believing the government no matter what is when things get so bad that even the mentally deficient go, they're lying to us. Oh, yeah. They're lying to us, everybody. Only when it gets that bad, then you can turn around and say, the numbers are on our side overwhelmingly. Everybody knows you're lying to us, and then you fight back. But if you do so beforehand when you're the minority of people, or a vast majority of people are scared, or they think that the government will come and get them, and so they cower and they're scared. When you try to fight back and your numbers are too small, you'll lose, and then it'll make the other side even more powerful. And there's that fine balance of when is the right time to fight back, because if it's too late, you're toast. If it's too early, they got you. And it's a very fine balance, and it's going to be very, very messy. I can tell you that much.